Welcome to Celebrity Scoop, where we unveil the truth behind the headlines. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so now and stay in the loop. Today, we're delving into a royal saga that has sent shockwaves far beyond Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has unexpectedly resigned from his own charity, Sentebale. But this isn't merely a tale of a prince stepping down from a charity role. It's a high-stakes drama that's been played out in the court of public opinion. Sentebale, a charity co-founded by Prince Harry, has been dedicated to supporting the mental health and well-being of young people affected by HIV in Lesotho and Botswana. Over the years, it's made a significant difference, all under the watchful eye of its royal patron. But now its champion has stepped away, leaving many to question, why? The UK press would have you believe this was nothing more than a petty fallout. They paint a picture of a disagreement between Prince Harry and the board's chair, Sophie Chandoka, as the reason for his departure. But is this the full story? Or is there more to this than meets the eye? The narrative spun by the media suggests that Chandoka accused someone of acting above the law, mistreating others and playing the victim. She hints at a toxic culture within Sentebale, citing poor governance, weak leadership and an abuse of power. So, who exactly is she talking about? And why has it led to Prince Harry's resignation? The UK press has been quick to label this as unthinkable infighting. But what if there's more to it? What if Prince Harry walked away from a system riddled with corruption and abuse? And what if the same British media that's been on a mission to destroy him is now benefiting from twisting the truth? But is the story as simple as a mere disagreement? Let's dive deeper. With these questions in mind, it's time to peel back the layers of this royal scandal and uncover the truth. Sophie Chandoka, the board chair, paints a different picture, a picture that reveals a much darker underbelly. Sophie Chandoka, the woman at the helm of the board, didn't just hint at the turmoil within Sentebale. She opened the floodgates to a river of allegations, exposing a culture so toxic it could make the River Thames seem pristine. She spoke of poor governance, a term that seems almost too polite for the chaos it describes, a lack of structure, of order, a ship adrift in stormy seas with no captain at the helm. A charity that was supposed to do good left to flounder in the murky waters of mismanagement. But it didn't stop there. Weak leadership was another branch of this twisted tree, a leadership that not only failed to guide, but actively exacerbated the problems, a leadership that fostered an environment where power was not a responsibility, but a weapon, a leadership that allowed for a culture where the strong preyed on the weak and where silence was the only safe harbour. And then came the bombshell, the abuse of power, a term that sends shivers down the spine because it represents the worst of what we can become. Chandoka shone a light on the shadows, revealing a culture of bullying, harassment and misogyny. She even went a step further, pointing out the existence of misogynoir, a particularly insidious form of discrimination against black women. This isn't a tale of petty disagreements or personality clashes. It's a tale of a principled man standing up to a system that had lost its way. Prince Harry's resignation wasn't just a personal decision. It was a statement, a protest against the corruption that had seeped into the very fabric of an institution he once held dear. This isn't just about a resignation. This is about a clash of power, a fight against corruption. Remember, when the powerful are held accountable, they'll do anything to shift the blame, but sometimes the truth is hidden in plain sight, waiting for those brave enough to reveal it. The media, however, seems to have their own agenda. They want you to focus on the Harry drama, but let's not lose sight of the forest for the trees. The British media, with their tabloids ablaze, are spinning a narrative that's more fiction than fact. This isn't a story about a prince's resignation, it's a story of power, corruption, and a brave woman standing up against it. But the media would have you believe otherwise. They're using this incident to fuel their ongoing campaign against Prince Harry. They're drawing attention away from the real issues and using Harry as their scapegoat. The British press, like a master puppeteer, is pulling the strings, directing your gaze towards their version of events, their distorted truth. They're painting Prince Harry as the villain, the troublemaker, while the real culprits remain hidden in the shadows. They're exploiting our fascination with celebrity, our obsession with royalty, to sell their stories, to boost their ratings. Meanwhile, they're doing a disservice to the public, to you, by burying the real story beneath layers of sensationalism and scandal. This is a classic case of media misdirection. They're manipulating the narrative, turning a serious issue into a soap opera, a spectacle. They're making a mockery of the truth, of justice for their own gain. And it's not just about Prince Harry. It's about anyone who dares to challenge the status quo, who dares to speak out against injustice. The media's tactics, their manipulation, their distortion of the truth is a warning to all who dare to defy them. So let's not be fooled. Let's not let the media's smoke and mirrors distract us from the real story. Let's not let them turn this into another Harry drama. The real story isn't about Harry. It's about the woman who dared to speak up. It's about standing up against power, against corruption. It's about fighting for truth and justice. And that's a story worth telling. So, who's really at fault here? Is it Prince Harry or the power figures who've been exposed? As we delve deeper into the rabbit hole, it's clear this saga isn't about a prince abandoning his charity. It's about the individuals who were unmasked in the process. The real culprits aren't those who walk away from the system. Rather, it's those who perpetuate the system's toxicity. Consider the implications. If such a high-profile organisation like Sentebale can harbour this degree of corruption, what does it say about other institutions? This event isn't just an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a larger issue. It's a stark reminder that power can be misused and authority can be abused, regardless of the institution's prestige or purpose. Let's not forget Sophie Chandauka, the woman who dared to expose the rot within sentebale. She's been vilified, her words twisted and warped by the media into a narrative that suits their agenda. But in reality, she's a whistleblower, a beacon of truth in an ocean of deceit. And what about the UK press? Their rush to pin this on Prince Harry, their eagerness to turn this into another Harry drama, is a smokescreen. It's their way of diverting attention from the real issues at hand. Yet there's a bigger question that looms. What else might be covered up? If such a scandal can be brushed under the carpet and repackaged as a petty disagreement, what other injustices are being concealed? How many other voices are being silenced, their truths buried beneath an avalanche of media misdirection? This isn't just about Prince Harry. It's about the countless others who've been victimised, their stories untold, their voices unheard. It's about the unchecked power of institutions and the media's role in maintaining the status quo. So as we navigate this complex web of power, abuse and cover-ups, let's not lose sight of the real culprits. Let's not be swayed by the media's spin. It's time we question what we're being told and look beyond the surface. As we wrap up, remember that the truth is often buried beneath layers of narratives. We began by discussing Prince Harry's unexpected resignation from his own charity, Sentebale, a move that, on the surface, seemed to be a result of internal disagreements. But as we delved deeper, we uncovered a far more complex and unsettling story. We examined the allegations made by Sophie Chandauka, the board's chair, who bravely exposed a toxic culture within the charity. She called out poor governance, weak leadership and abuse of power. She highlighted instances of bullying, harassment and misogyny, all hidden beneath the veil of philanthropy and royal prestige. As we peeled back the layers, we found that these allegations were not just about one person or one charity, but pointed to a larger issue within certain power structures. This wasn't merely a case of Prince Harry resigning. It was a story of a man who chose to walk away from a system riddled with corruption and abuse. We also discussed the role of the media, particularly the UK press, which has often been accused of bias and misinformation. Instead of investigating the root of the problem within Sentebale, they chose to focus on the Harry drama, thus diverting attention from the real issues at hand. Finally, we turned our spotlight on the real culprits, the powerful figures operating behind the scenes. These are the individuals who stand to gain from twisting the truth, who thrive in the shadows of the unchecked power, and who remain unscathed amidst the chaos they create. And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more updates. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, it's important to question the narrative, to look beyond the headlines and to seek the truth. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious and keep questioning the narrative.